Hello, hello, happy Monday, July 13th, 2026. How is everybody? Russell, good afternoon, a nice Monday. It's been a busy day here trying to get caught up. I had a large collection in for appraisal last week with a real tight timeline for completion. So, and as luck would have it, I got consignment pens in last week. I had vintage pens that were finished last week. So I'm a little behind, but I did pretty good. And then we ordered a bunch of new stuff over the weekend in the last few days. So I was busy creating product for the website, getting stuff ordered in the system. So hopefully some of that stuff we can talk about toward the end of the week. Some of it is brand new to us. Some of it is old friends. McEnthusiast, hello, hello. You have a good weekend? Yeah, I had a good weekend. And actually, oh yeah, I don't have it here. Lisa and I did. We decided we were going to go hit up some antique shops on Saturday, and originally we were going to go back to the place where we bought all the pens last time, because we got when we got to a certain point, we couldn't progress any further because there was this big street party going on for the 4th of July. So we kind of said, yeah, let's do that. But let's go to the furthest point first, and then we'll work our way back. And then we looked in the map and was like, it's a whole lot of resale, thrifty kind of shops. The chance of there being any kind of writing instruments is I mean, you never say never, but it's pretty slim. So we had one of these little brochures that has antique stores in the in the area kind of thing, and so we picked a couple areas that I had never been to, and went there. And we found a couple pieces, nothing terribly exciting. Although I do have to chuckle that we went to this one small antique shop in the middle of nowhere, small downtown. I mean, there's like nothing. There's nothing in this town. Super old building, tin ceilings, cool tile floor. It used to be a butcher shop. In fact, it had one of the original machines there, and they had an Esterbrook. They actually had a print of a pair of cardinals we thought was really cool, so we picked that up. We picked up a couple other non-pen stuff, and then they had like an art gallery that was like kind of upstairs. So we went upstairs and we look, and I look in this one room, which is kind of blocked off by a rope, and it says it doesn't say stay out, but it's it's not for purchase. But then there were things in there that there were cards up for that had prices on it. So it was like, well. And it's sitting on this desk is a round marble base with the Sheaffer Fat touchdown. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way they're using this pen. It just can't be. Because I had already got done talking to him about the red Esterbrook, and we talked about cases, and he had some cool cases in the store. And so he goes, oh well, let's go take a look at it. We walk up there. He reaches it, sees it, pulls it out, and he gets out his phone. He's like, well, there's no price on it. I'm like, well, yeah. I said, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't hurt to ask, right? Because it looks like there's obviously things in there that are for sale, but you're not supposed to go in this room. He gets his phone out, and then like about 3 seconds after he pulls his phone out, it's like he decides it's too much trouble to call somebody to see if this is actually for sale. It doesn't even, I don't even see the nib. He's got it in his hand, and he's like, yeah, there's no price. I don't think this is for sale. And he just sets it down, and then he walks downstairs. Like, and I had asked, do you have any other pens? No, no, that's probably it. Like, do you want to sell stuff at this shop or not? Because there's nobody else in this town. Nobody else on a Saturday. Gabriel, how you doing? And I was just flummoxed. I'm like, okay, that's cool. You know, I'll save the money. It'll still be there next time. Well, we went to a place that was advertised as having over 100 bicycles. I said, I have to go. We have to go. And so we went, and it was something else. You're a little late. Customer needs some extra hand holding. It's all right. Give them better service than they deserve. Sometimes that works. And I said, okay, we go, and it's hot. So we go, and the place looks interesting. I mean, it's packed to the gills. And they had bikes. They had lots of bikes. Nothing that I was interested in. Because I warned Lisa, say, if they have any kind of like 1950s Bianchis or something, man, that's in this price range, I'm coming home with one. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm coming home with one. And they had bikes, but they had nothing I was interested in. But everything was like, and so the first thing we see when we walk in is the sign on the register, and it says, like what they all do now, debit, credit, you get this extra 2.9% or whatever. Cash, if you pay with cash, is 25% discount. We're thinking this is killer. If they have pens, we're going to clean up, right? 25% discount. Problem is everything was like 100% more than it ought to have been. I did walk out with 2 pens, and one of them was a Sheaffer vac filler and ebonized pearl, and I sent that off for repair right away. It went out in the post this morning. Kohl's pricing, yeah. I was like, cool, 25% off. But you're walking around and like everything is like the cheapest thing in the place is $50, So I'm like, all right. Yeah, Kohl's pricing. So I don't know. I might go back some year. It was a cool place. There was one of these places where if they have one of something, they have 20 of something. They had a lot of street signs. I don't know where the heck they got all the street signs. But I mean, they had, and there were booths too. So, but it was weird. Like seriously, if they had one of something, it was 20. Very weird place. They had some pens. They had some desk pens. Were a little bit too pricey for my taste, but they were hooked up right next to this kind of like this candy store where they made fudge and they had ice cream, or it was a custard. I can't remember what it was. They had ice cream and bars and stuff like that. So we quick went around through the store and then went and hit the ice cream shop on the way out. So that was about it. Not much. Yeah, I think all told, 2 fountain pens, a dip pen. Oh, and I got to get it. Hang on. I got something else that was kind of cool. Totally forgot about this. I saw this, and it's funny because we walked into this place. I've never been to any of these places before. They're not that far from where I live, but we walked into this place and we saw like clocks everywhere, and we started talking about my watchmaker, and then I happened to see this, which apparently they just put out like either that day or the day before, and it's a little box. Look at this with a clock. And it opens up, and this part in the inside is kind of goofy. I'm probably just going to take it out because it came unglued. But it's great for it's perfect size for keeping pens and stuff. So, but there's the back of the clock, and it keeps like amazing time. I've had it pretty much wound since I got it, and it's 1 minute fast. It says it's 2:14. So, but it's cute. I couldn't resist. It was like $20. Why not? I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I liked it, so I bought it. Well, actually, Lisa bought it for me. So anyway, that was the extent of that. You have a couple. You had an employee like that one time. She would be happy if no one showed up to buy anything. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, it was so weird because it's like the guy was like, he acted like the owner. And I don't know if he could have been the owner. Maybe this was like a vendor upstairs that wasn't his. I mean, he just, no interest in calling and seeing if it was available. I mean, his big take for the weekend was going to be $40 from us, so that was it. Anyway. Let's take a look at what we got on the bench today. I was expecting, well, yeah, look in here. What's going on here? Oh, okay. I was expecting some pens in for repair today, but they didn't show up, so maybe tomorrow. Here's what's on the bench today. We're going to put these guys together, test them, they can ship. All right. This motley crew here, sadly, we'll try this. We'll try the Vacuumatic one more time. We got fresh hands. We'll see if we can get that open. The Moore has been soaking in the water since last week, Thursday. So, fingers crossed, maybe we can get that open. And then I've got a Joya here. This is actually a consignment pen that came in. It needs a little flush and clean. So we're just going to really just take care of that right now and get that done with and over with. Start the day off with a little success, I suppose, as they say. But it's a real pretty blue, and there's a cap. Piston filler. Kind of looks like a beachy, sandy beach kind of scene. So these just came in, I think, on Thursday. About 6 or 7, about 8, probably 8 or 9 pens. Hang on. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you. You too. New stuff just came. New stationery stuff. I think. I don't know. We'll have to see. Actually, no, I don't think so. Restock. I placed an order for some new letter sets that are just adorable. I saw them and I immediately placed an order. There we go. I think it's got an ink window and it had some black in there. Hey, Fuzzy, do tell. I'll tell you. They should be up on the website soon. So I don't think this is it now that I think about it, because I placed 2 orders in succession with this company. And I think I checked this morning and there's still Still processing the order. But they are letter sets from Furukawa, I believe is the name of the company in Japan. And they have, and I'm going to get this wrong because this is all new, so I don't have it memorized yet. Like eight sheets and envelopes, matching envelopes. And so they're different designs. One of them, of course, it has to be cats. One is coffee, one is hedgehogs, one is can't think. I've been dogs, and the fourth one I forget. The fifth one I forget what it is. They're adorable. They're super adorable, super cute. I'm hoping they're here by Thursday. We used to carry the Midori letter sets, and they were moderately popular and cute, and there's like 1 million of them. And this is just something different. I mean, there's only 5 sets. Yeah, that's much better. But yeah, we kind of went crazy yesterday. We actually came in. And we've had a list of brands that we want to bring in, and either that we've worked with before or that we've talked about, and we had some timeline things that we had to deal with, so we're like, well, we might as well just order them now. So all stationery related. But some things that fill kind of a hole, things that we don't quite have as of this point. You just used a Midori letter set this weekend. 3 colors of paper with a little ink pot. Yeah, they're cute. I probably will get some of those in the future. The problem is some of them sold really well, and some of them just didn't sell at all. And you just, it's like anything else. You just don't know. So I did some ordering yesterday. I will say, for those of you that are Twisby fans, I was told this morning there are more horseyear in stock at the warehouse, so I ordered more. Right now on the website, I've got extra fines and a single broad nib available. Everything else is fines, mediums, and stubs are sold out. So if you're interested in any of those nib choices on the Eco Horseyear and you didn't get one in time, you can sign up for the notice, and as soon as they come in, they will, you'll get an email. Well, I hope this lines up nice because that was really hard to get in. Yeah, that looks good. This one we're going to have to probably apply a little shellac to it. You know what? Let's say while we got the heat gun on, and I certainly don't want any more heat in here than I need to. Let's try to see if we can get this open. It's another week of like 90 plus degrees here in Wisconsin. So I don't need a heat gun on any longer than I need it to be on. Hey, at least we're going to get one of these. So if you're watching, we're going to get this more done. Let's try this guy. I thought maybe that would come open. I don't like striking out when a client sends multiple pens. We're talking one day this week that will be in the 90s, the rest of the week in the 80s. At least it's not like it is in France. I mean, it was, hooray, yeah. Like 99 degrees yesterday in France. I kind of laughed because they shortened the Tour de France by 30 kilometers. Like, you do know the guys are out there for like almost 4 hours still. I don't think 30 kilometers is really going to do all that much. First things first, take off my ring. So we're going to have to look at this more right away, because what happens is when you let it soak like that, water gets in and then it travels up the barrel. And so you actually do get water. You get water up the, yeah, that's not coming open. You get water that travels up into the barrel. So it's a blessing and a curse, because you got it open, but now you got water inside the barrel. What did I do with my hand? All right, well, we're going to soak the nib unit anyway, because I think that nib's coming out. So oh, thank you. All right. So the one thing about more is that it always makes you nervous. And one thing you should know if you are relatively new and you're buying vintage pens, and you go, oh, well, I'm going to buy this more. As many of them are pinned up at the front. So you can see the pin right there and right there. And so what that does is that holds the front, you can kind of see it there, the front of the bar. If that breaks, you got a lot of problems. It's a whole lot of no fun. This one, thankfully, looks good to go. So it's instantly going to get inky and messy on your thumb, but I would rather do that than have these chunks end up clogging the drain in my ultrasonic. And now most of y'all are never going to have an ultrasonic with a drain. But if you have one, you don't want to get it clogged up with little bits of stuff, because it goes down, it kind of makes a little bit of a right angle, and then it just gets stuck in there, and then you're questioning life choices while you try to clean that out. That's not too bad. You get a bulb syringe and you squirt some water through it, but all right, while those pieces are soaking, let's test these two Sheaffers. If this green one tests out nice, we're going to put just a little bit of shellac on that section. Just to kind of keep it in place, because it twists, and we don't want it to do that. So this green one is the one that had like that layer of ink in the ink window. We tried to get it out, and you can actually feel the buildup if you're going at it with the pick. But when it's full, you can't see it. You can't see it. So was really a better choice, I think, to just, well, you try, and then you say, well, we're just going to leave it because 90% of the time the ink window is not going to be visible because it's going to be full. So. That's an extra fine, all right. Hey, Gary, hope you had a good weekend. Yeah. With light touch, it's just really a very quick writer. Gary, you caught up on your tour watching? Fantastic stage yesterday. I think we all need a little rest day today, though. Hard to believe, though. We're already in. Tomorrow will be stage 10. We're like almost halfway through. We'll spin that out, seal it up. Good to go. All right, next up. It's younger sibling in brown. This one doesn't have the price indicator on it. Yeah, USPS has been, so far I've seen it in very small instances, a little behind. I've got one package that left just before the 4th of July weekend, and it's still sitting with no status updates. So I think the holiday being on a Saturday really messed up the postal system. Because, Monday's a busy day anyway, but now Monday's a busy day because you didn't have any deliveries, anything on Saturday. So you're not staying up that late? Well, on U.S. coverage, and you know, this is my daily rag on Peacock. The first like third of the race, there's a commercial like every 25 minutes. It's ridiculous. It's, you know, 90 seconds, 120 seconds of commercials. What I've discovered is that if it's on the weekends and I can get up and watch while the live is still taking place, they don't put the commercials in. And so, but they have markers. They have 90 seconds of black space where the commercials are going to go, and you can forward through those. So on weekends, I can, if I get up early enough and watch it, I can fast forward through a lot of that stuff. Otherwise, it's insufferable. It's just terrible. Average success rate for delivery to you is 75%. $50 new pens, huh? That'd be a Sunday. It's got a little bit more. More feedback than I like. There we go. Extra fine and a fine. You're still trying to work out where you put all the cycling books? Yeah, you have so many books and no bookshelves left. First world problem, yeah. Well, I'm going on starting pretty soon, starting week 3 of not having the cycling prints that I bought. They said it would take up to 3 weeks to ship. I just don't want it to get here when I'm gone to DC. But it probably will. Your horse is racing today. Good luck. You get a new pen every time he wins? All right. Man, I love that thing. So that pulls out way too easy. So we'll just put a little shellac on there. We'll let it dry. And you just need a little bit. You don't need to shellac the snot out of it. I just put a little bit on the bottom because that way when you push it up, it will get a little more coverage up at the top. All right, good to go. Okay. See what's going on with this barrel here. Now we're going to polish this before we do anything else because it's really kind of nasty. Let's give it a little polish. Much easier to do without a nib on it. But there's a whole lot of dirt and stuff going on here. Microgloss 5. There's pliers marks on here. I mean, it's, if this thing could talk. Always a good day when a stuck pen opens up. Just noticed you sold another pen. You've been selling one a day, but none for the last 4 days. Well, congratulations. I had faith in you. I've got some things I was debating on selling on eBay. Because I have no idea what the value of them are, what they are. And I'm happy to have them go to the highest bidder just so that they get out of here. So it looks like some of this darkness in the threads is just really, is not coming out, which is not entirely uncommon. This is the nice thing about button fillers. You don't have to deal with this lever box area, getting polish in there. If you're careful though, you can mitigate most of it. You're expecting 3 pens to arrive today that you're cleaning and we'll put in new sacks. The lady's giving you a whole heap of pen parts. Nice. I was a little bummed out last night. I'm getting ready to go to bed and I was looking on Facebook Marketplace and I saw somebody had posted a Sheaffer gold-filled ring top. Number 2 self-filling nib. They wanted $30 for it. Nothing wrong with it. I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. Saw that they had actually done some shipping before, so I'm like, this is great. And then He messaged me right back. No, sorry, that's gone. I have the worst luck on Marketplace. Oh, that looks good. Yeah, 30 bucks. I'm thinking if the dude charges me 15 for shipping, that's still, like, how can you go wrong? Let's get this. Let's just do this top here too. Like I was thinking, I could go down and pick it up, but it's like 3 hours away, And the first thing I saw on his profile was, shipped quickly, da 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 da. I'm like, great. Normally it's a 51 for, $225 or something. Or it's like the time that I saw Antique Shop had a listing online for 2 Parker eyedroppers, including a Parker number 1. I think it was a 1 and a 3, if my memory serves me correct. And one of them was modeled. And they wanted like $150 for the pair. And I was like, if you ship, I will. And they clearly said something like in the listing that they won't ship. It's pickup only. And I'm thinking, you guys are, come on. I emailed them right away. I'm like, hey, if you can ship this, I'll send you a label. Throw it in a box, Pad it up, throw it in a box. I'll send you the label. It's like, oh, no, that's not available anymore. I'm like, why don't you take your listing down? Because I could not sleep that night. I saw this and I'm thinking, that's insane. Modeled hard rubber. Overfeed, by the way, on modeled hard rubber, and taper caps too, I think they were. It's not too often that I can't sleep at night because of a pen, but that was one of the nights. The other one was the other one that I remember recently was last year when I got offered a 58. Yeah, I gotta have it. You send the email at night. You get the email like in the middle of the afternoon or something. You don't see it. You're like, oh crap. It's late at night. You send the email, and then like you're checking, like refreshing. Did they email back yet? Did they accept my offer? What am I going to tell Lisa? All right, we'll just clean this out a little bit here. Yeah, it's getting better. At least one of these will look great. Is it 3:05 already? Oh, we're done at 5. Like, we only got less than an hour to go? All right. Well, it's getting toasty in here. Holy cow. It's not supposed to get this hot until August. We actually, we decided, let's say the weather was going to be great on Saturday. So it's a perfect day. We'll take the vet out. It's been on the charger like all summer, pretty much since I got it back from the storage unit. And I had Friday night, I had gone out to the garage. I just opened the car door to make sure the light turned on. Good, we're good to go. I'm all excited. We got sandwiches packed. We got a little lunch. We always have a little lunch and find a nice spot to eat. And so I got that pretty much ready. Go out to the car. I'm like, okay, you lock up. I'll get the car out of the driveway or the garage. And the battery tender was not working. So the car did not start. So we did not take it. So that was a little disappointing. Hey, Colin, you got your vac mini quick. Good. I tried to order more today and they are officially out. Done. That's it. There are no more. I've got like 3 left. 3 left and I have 4, like, I think they're medium nib units and that's it. So I'm going to step away for like 10 seconds. I got to turn the air conditioning on here. Hang on. All right. Let's see where the nibs are. Still got some sack action on there. And I think we're going to knock that nib out for the client because they want maybe put it in something else down the road. So we'll there's quite a bit of that old sack jammed in here. What I think I want to do is I want to knock this out so we can make sure it's perfectly clean. In other words, it's not gonna, there's a chance that some of that could clog up the feed. It's not gonna write very well. And yeah, it's a kind of a nasty mess on there anyway. When you're not gonna nib out, Old Sack, great name for a bourbon, yeah. When you're not gonna nib out, number one, you got to soak it first. Really, really need to have moisture in there to help essentially lubricate its exit. And that is what we got cooking on the feed there. Look at all that fun stuff. How well do you think that's going to write? Not at all is my answer. I'm kind of in that position there, so I know what it looks like. Yeah, there's all sorts of one of the nice things about older pens with hard rubber sections is they're much easier to get nibs and feeds out of. Look at all that. They will warp over time, but they won't shrink. Whereas you always have to be careful with plastic sections, vacuumatic sections. Because they will shrink, and they will continue to shrink after you get the nib out. And that's why if you got to take it out, my recommendation is have a good reason for doing it. And once you've determined that you have to knock it out, it's a plastic section. Do whatever you need to do immediately. Don't waste. Don't set it down. Don't pick it up again tomorrow. Do whatever job you're going to do. Clean the feed, clean the nib, clean the breather tube, whatever it is. Do it right then and there and get that thing back in the section. Let's take a look at this. All right. Okay, so there is a crack in the base of the nib. It is not terribly uncommon. But now that it's clean, we can actually assess how bad it is. Yeah, so it goes up all the way through the K in 14 karat and kind of stops. So it's going to be mostly covered in the section. And sometimes that's why it's good to get a nib and feed out so you can see what's going on. Because if you try to go and flex something like this, you run the risk of making that worse. Actually, what am I going to drop this in? I'm going to throw this in a little Rapidoise right now. Just for a little bit. We'll see if you can actually see some ink coming off the feed here already. What I was concerned about was in the fins here, you could see, and I scraped some off the back of the bottom of the feed, but you could see a little bit of residue that's maybe going to get in the way. I'm going to set that off to the side. Always nice when it's clean because you can see exactly what it's doing. I'll let that do its thing here. All right, so let's just do this. I know that they're gonna want this nib out, I think, so we're just gonna knock this out. This one's got the same kind of dreck in it. And clogged up just like the other one. We're not going to use this, but let's at least get it clean. So we got a solid parts pen here for sure. Dice cap. You got a section to feed, a blind cap. Clean up this nib for him. This will at least, I want to put this nib maybe in something else. So let's at least assess how good or bad it is. I'm going to have to ask though and see if these two pens were like came from the same place. Pretty thick India ink or something on here. Parts is parts, yeah. Emerald Vac you recently bought turned out to be a debutante lockdown, not the slender. Seller had the measurements wrong and even called it a junior in the listing. That's why I don't like Vacs. That's why I don't really like Vacs, because you know what a major is, you know what a standard is. You know, but then there's things like long majors and So we're seeing a good amount of stuff coming off the feed already. Look at that. Let's see if that's better. Better, but not perfect. Could see it in the And the fins. Let's put it over here for a little bit. You wish manufacturers put measurements in their catalogs, but it was very obvious it was a Deb. Yeah. I don't think that nib needs very long. All right. I think this nib is good to go. And I think this is good to go too. Which means we can put this back together. Hey. Your vac mini is your TWSBI number 13, but your TWSBI display only holds 12. You have a TWSBI display? Make a display? Or the display you have your TWSBIs in? Oh, just a generic box on the wall? It didn't go in straight. Yeah, it's a really thin nib, too. It's very thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this up. It seems okay, but it's probably just out around just slightly enough to make it difficult. Dark cherry, glass top, nice enough for TWSBIs? Nice. You need to find a larger storage solution in general. You have a small 12 pen display case and a 30 pen drawer thing. Definitely outgrown them. You're up over the 150 mark now. Just don't. Sometimes nibs want to go in, and sometimes they don't want to go in right. And I just don't like the way it looks. Pen storage is always an issue. Yeah, it sure is. I think the feed is slightly warped. Just gonna try to. I want it to go in that far, so that's how far I'm gonna hold it. I like the positioning of the nib on the feed. Finally, sixth time around or whatever it is. We're gonna try that. We can always push it in a little bit more. Just want to make sure that the inside here is free of any of that stuff. So the crack is going to show a little bit more, but I think the positioning of the nib is so much better. As long as it's used with care, I think it'll be fine. It's a little tight, so I'm just going to give this part of the section a little rub down. All right. Let's keep our fingers crossed on this. Nope. Oh, 16s again. Hang on. I got to get some sacks. Boy, the air is not working in here. Can't believe my heat gun is contributing that much to the heat here. It was 78 when I turned the thermostat at 75. I turned it down to 71. And I just checked it and it's at 79. So it is not moving in the right direction. Oh. The joy of sex, you know. I did pick up this weekend, they had a big bucket of, at this one antique store, they had a big bucket of scissors. And I'm a big fan of these scissors. I use them only for cutting sacks. But they were like $1 a piece, so I picked up a couple extra just for the heck of it, just in case something were to happen. Wrote this down. I didn't write how many. 5. Oh, okay. Should be good. Got a nice little Waterman nib here they can put in something. I suspect what happened is whoever put the Waterman nib in, and they did an okay job of it, glued the filling unit in when they did that job. So, all right. These guys are done. They're going to dry. We got shellac on there. She's done. We'll come back to this tomorrow, and we'll see how that is. Now, the nice thing is we can push this in with the sack on it. So if this works good and it's, I think it's at like the most aesthetically pleasing depth. Before it was very, very deep. You know, usually if you have, you know, a couple lines and you've got the 14 karat, you know, you end up, you know, this could go in another 2 or 3 millimeters. But the way that this imprint is, I think where it's at is really pretty good. If we have to push it in, we will. Client will just have to use a little bit more care when using it. But we'll see how it is. It's got a little bit of softness to it, so you just want to be careful using it. All right. Well, this was my scrap sheet. Oops. All right, what's next? I got a little bit of time. This one we didn't start yet. Let's see if we could put these together. So this has been soaking since last week, and that just came out when I took it out of the pirouilles. This was for the Kohinoor. Wanted to move nice and freely. So let's try to thread the needle here, so to speak. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. All that black on there. So that tip came out. Oh, where are French Jif Watermans with glass cartridges? I mean, they're around. Okay, so now I'm just putting it on here for now. Slides up and down the needle pretty freely, so now we got to put this back without losing it. A little bit in there, but I think once we put the piston back in, we might not have a problem. You got two other interesting pens over the weekend: an uncatalogued Parker Depression pen and a Sears Roebuck hard rubber pen branded as the Economy. Yeah, I got one of those too somewhere. Where the heck is it? Hang on. I know where it is. Does it look like this? I think I know where it is. Is it? Oh, it's going to bother me now. Just had it out. I have one. Hey, Spicy. Well, I don't know where it is. It's around here somewhere. It was in my to be repaired pile, and then there was like, I just decided it was more hassle than it was worth. And although I thought mine was an eyedropper, I don't know. Today your back is weak. Hopefully mine isn't. No, mine's good today. Thanks for asking. That sounds good, huh? This one went together a whole lot easier than the other one. I don't know that the needle is dropping on this. Drop the needle. We used to have drop the needle in music history class every Friday. And our professor, you know what? It's still clogged up. It's still clogged up. Our professor would get the turntable out and put some classical music out and literally just pick a spot in the middle of the record and there you can see it still coming out. And then we were expected to, it gave us a couple minutes to recognize the piece, and then we had to name it. Probably wouldn't work so well in today's what I'm gonna do with CDs and the like, or MP3s. I guess you could just slide it along. Well, these things are a pain. Could have used Shazam. This was well, a long time ago. No, there was no thing called Shazam. No cell phones, no smartphones. You did that too? Yeah. Yeah, we'd have to have listening study groups. which actually was kind of fun. And then did you have the Norton scores too? Did I still use those? Am I completely dating myself? Yeah, he sort of ran apart. Yeah, he literally dropped the needle. He was like right in the middle. What piece? What movement? But we'd have little study groups. Alcohol was usually involved. But then you'd sit there and you'd listen to Mozart. It was great. Yeah. Yeah, I think I still have mine. I kept all my music books. Even though I decided to venture into other things. I thought it was really cool to be able to have the score for, the full score for a lot of that stuff. Volumes 1, 2. All right, what do we say? Yeah, this breather hole goes under the clip. That was one you immediately resold when you were done because they were a lot of money. Yeah, I got both volumes at home somewhere in the basement. It was one of those things where I thought, you know what? When I retire someday, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get out the Norton scores and put on Puccini's Bohème, La Bohème, and I'm gonna do that. And I'm not retired yet, so I should just put this in the ultrasonic. But all right, well that's doing that. Let's take a look at the one from Holland here. You got to be careful taking stuff out of the Rapidoids because it's kind of slippery. It's like the Dr. G's. There it is. There's a little cover here. And I'm just kind of rinsing them off in the water. But that's how dirty that got. And the only thing that was in there were these three parts. still. Oops. Might be time for me to get a new, maybe unbent E string. So I dropped that in there, and you can see it didn't immediately go down. It's still floating, which means that that tube is a little bit jammed up. And those two are very similar, but they're not interchangeable, so I don't really want to mix them up. So I'll leave that one in there, and then we'll... Well, we can reassemble this. Silicone on there. See you next time, Fuzzy. Thanks for tuning in. Not quite as nice of a sound as the other one. There we go. Trying to think what were some of the other books that we had. Norton's was always the most identifiable. Oh, this is nasty. I'm going to toss this stuff. Gross. I'll tell you what, you restore one of these, don't either clean it regularly or put fountain pen ink in it. Your piano music was always steep Urtex editions just to learn one piece. Are those the ones that are like kind of tan and they've got like the very simple covers on them? My first wife was a pianist. Wow. Yeah, we had we didn't have it quite as bad, but in the trumpet studio, we had, I forget the publisher, but we had to get the Charlier etudes. And it was, and I remember in the 80s, it was like, I want to say, I could be wrong, $40. You know, which was a lot of money. It was a lot of money in the day. Maybe it was more. It could have been more. Oh, original manuscript. Oh, okay. Yeah, it probably might have been more. Because I know we could go, there was a place across from the university. We could go and we could eat lunch and we could pig out. They had 50-cent barbecue. And I think the fries were $1. And so you would go and you can get like 4 barbecue sandwiches, you know, good size. I mean, they were on the smaller size, but you get 4 of them and a thing of fries for $3. So, you know, $30 or $40 for a piece was a lot of money. And yeah, we would get it and we would, I think I learned the first 2 pieces. That was it. Henley. Okay. Yeah. But then we also had to buy these etudes that my professor wrote himself, so we'd have to buy his books. And you know, you'd play 1 or 2 pieces out of them, and they were all goofy, all very goofy. And apparently he wrote this set of etudes, 36 etudes, I think it was. Okay, that seems to work all right. Um, when he was in grad school, and this is cool because it's got a little cover that goes over the top. Um, while he was waiting for, whenever he'd have a trumpet student that was late, um, he would write. He would go and he would write etudes, and he wrote this whole edition while waiting for students to show him for lessons, which is kind of amusing. But they were just really weird. I mean, they were like almost purposefully weird. Odd time signatures, odd key signatures. Boy, it doesn't want to fill very well, but it fills. It fills that far. It still has some ink left in it. You can see it. It's gritty. We do the back 700 trick and fill it that way. Boy, you'd think with this being, it's just not. This just seems weird, this part here. I still don't think it's coming through the tube. Okay, so we're going to fill it with some Rapido Ease. And I'm going to leave it sit like that because it's not coming through. Oops. Through the needle portion. Which is maybe why we have problems, I don't know. Again, it's just something completely different. Sometimes you got to challenge yourself. That could fall out. Well, let's see. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get rid of this stuff. I'll be right back. Well, that was dumb. There we go. It dropped down. And it left a little black piece. So that's what we got. We're going to let that sit in the ultrasonic. Well, these things are nasty. I think I got 2 more of these stupid things. All right. Okay. Where did I put that wrench? Seriously? I just had that wrench. There it is. This section is really pretty chewed. I think I'm going to drop. I'm going to drop that in there too. And then we're going to see what happens. Well, I think that's enough frustration for me for today. I got a package of stationery to open up. Tomorrow we will finish that more. We'll test it. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's good. We'll continue on with these guys. Maybe just power through them. As long as we're doing one, we might as well do multiples. I got pens to test. And then I've got some 51s and things like that we can clean up. So I think I'm gonna call it a day, and we'll go from there. So yeah, great to see you too, Spicy. So have a good rest of your afternoon, your evening, your morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Right? Take care, everyone. Bye now.